today I am making a dish. It is going to be an Instant Pot keto meatloaf with palmini on the side. So what we'll be using is, in this bowl, I have 3 pounds of ground beef. We may not use it all. We'll see when we're mixing it up. And with the meatloaf, we're going to be using spices, sea salt, garlic, salt, and parsley, pepper, and to our meatloaf, we're going to be adding some of this spinach. This spinach is just the Great Value chopped spinach. It has been steamed, cooked right in the bag, and then I drained out the water. So we will be using most of that in our ground beef. And in this bag I have 2 ounces of crushed up, okay, I'm having a moment here, pork rinds. We're going to use that in our meatloaf as well. And I'm also going to be putting 2 eggs in the meatloaf. And then we're going to put that in the Instant Pot. And then we'll get started on our palmini side dish. Now palmini, if you don't know, it's made out of a vegetable, hearts of palm, and it has 4 grams of carbs, 2 of fiber, so it's 2 net carbs. And to that we're going to make a little cheese sauce. So I have 5 ounces of shredded Monterey Jack and Colby cheese, or Colby Jack and Monterey. I get the 2 mixed up, but it's both of them. And then I have just a little bit over 2 tablespoons of curry butter. This is going to be part of our sauce, which we'll cook on the stove. So I'm going to put my hair up, put my sleeves back, and then we'll get started. So let's get this dinner started. I've got some olive oil right here. I'm just going to spray a little bit on my hand here. And why I'm doing this is because we're cooking our meatloaf in this little basket. And I'm just going to line or wipe the basket with the olive oil, just to help prevent it from sticking. Okay. Now inside here I've got about 1 1¼ cups of water. I'm putting my trivet in here because this is going to rest on top of it because I don't want my ground beef in the water. Alright, let me take this off for a second. I don't want to get the oil on here. So for our spices, you can measure this out if you want to. I'm not going to. I'm just going to put it to my liking. It's 3 pounds of meat, so I'm going pretty heavy with it. And a little bit of salt. And I forgot to mention earlier, with the cheese sauce, I will be using a little bit of xanthan gum, probably about 1/4 teaspoon. Pepper, again, to your liking. And I have already the 2 eggs in there. Now I'm going to put on my gloves. I'm going to move this spoon out of the way. And I'm just going to take some of the spinach, not all of it. There's about 4 cups in one of those bags, so I'm going to save about 1 cup, maybe 3/4 of a cup, and that's going to be for the palmini dish. So you need to just get right in here with your hands, start mushing away, getting these spinach well combined with the ground beef. Now this is just a regular 85%, 85-15. This is a Great Value brand. This is not organic. Honestly, I only get organic when I can find it on sale because it's really expensive. And I think I have 1 organic left in the freezer, and it just wasn't enough. 1 pound is not going to make a big meatloaf unless it's for 1 person. Alright, so my 2 ounces of crushed pork rinds are going in. And I'm going to mix this up. Let's mix it up. And you could put in, you know, whatever spices that you want. You don't have to limit it to garlic, parsley, and salt. black pepper. You can do what makes you happy. That's the beauty of cooking and baking. You know, you get your ideas, and then you know, you can tweak recipes, create your own. This is my own. And, you know, you just gotta play with stuff. Make it your own. Alright, so this is looking really good, and it smells good. You can see the mixture, all that green in there. And I do like garlic, but I'm not going to put in the garlic pieces because I feel like I have enough with the spinach, you know, because I really do want to keep my carb count low. Plus, with the holiday season, enjoying those extra treats, you know, it adds carbs. So I think I'm going to end up using all of this, and this is probably going to take every bit of an hour to cook. Maybe we're going to start it off at about, I would say, this is going to be a big one, so we're going to say about 40 minutes. And we can always, we will check it as we go. And this little basket is going to keep its shape, and everything, all the, you know, the grease and stuff in there is just going to drain to the bottom of the Instant Pot, you know, with the, and it'll mix with the water, but the trivet is there to keep this from setting in it. So you want to make this, you know, as even as possible. I'm not doing it tight because when it cooks, you know, the grease is going to come out and it's going to shrink. So I want a nice little round meatloaf. And yeah, you're going to have to cut this thing out because of the hoops in there, but that's okay. The reason why I'm doing it in the Instant Pot is because I want to spend time, you know, making my other holiday treats. And when this goes in, actually we'll put it in right now. Just going to pop it in there like so. Let me see. Just like that. I don't know if you can't really see it, but it's setting right in there. And I'm going to come around to the other side, and we're going to pop this on here, like so. I've got my little ceiling vent, and because I'm under the light, I usually cook my Instant Pot on the stove, but the stove is hot right now, and we're going to be cooking the cheese sauce on there, so we don't want the Instant Pot in the way. So what I like to do is put this on here, and we're going to go to manual, and we're going to set this for 40 minutes. And when 40 minutes is up, I will check the meat with my thermometer. So it's in the pot. We'll let it cook, and we'll work on our sauce. So easy peasy. So that's good to go. So let me clear off this and move the camera to the stove so you can see how we cook the cheese sauce. Thanks for watching. So we have our 2 tablespoons and just a tad bit more of butter melted up. I've got this on about a 3. I'm going to put in my 1/4 teaspoon of xanthan gum. Just mix that up with the butter. Now I forgot to mention the ingredients for this. You definitely need 3/4 cups of heavy whipping cream, and I completely forgot about that. So what we want to do is cook this up until it thickens. So we'll be back in a few minutes when it's ready. We're going to turn this to medium first, in between medium. And all I'm going to do is cook this up until it gets thick, and then we'll be back. Alright, our mixture is nice and thick. So we're going to turn this down to a 3. Now I'm going to add the cheese and the spinach. Let's see here. Need a little spatula thing. Don't want to waste any of the vegetable, right? Now we're going to put in just a smidgen of garlic and a little bit of black pepper. Now if you can hear the steam noise in the background, that is from the Instant Pot. So we're just going to mix this up. And it's very thick, so I'm going to add a little bit more cream. I want it just a little bit not so thick. That's probably about a quarter of a cup. Mix it up. Oops, splash on myself. Can you see how thick that cheese is? And that's fine, but I don't want it that thick. I still want it just a little bit thinner. It looks really good though. So I'm just going to add, let me see, where did my measuring cup go? This is about 3/4 of a cup of almond milk. And I chose almond milk because, you know, heavy whipping cream just helps make it thicker. But I don't want to taste the almond milk. I want to taste the cheese. So it's going to mix up good, as you can see already. Now what you want to do is taste it to see if it has the right consistency and taste for you. You know, salt, pepper wise. So you can see that. That's pretty good. Alright, I'm going to taste that. And that's good. Now what this needs now is the Palmini, which I have put in a strainer and it's been sitting. So what we're going to do is we're going to put it right in there. Let me get all these loose noodles out. They look like noodles. Now we're going to mix this up. Now what I want to do is, all this is going to do is I'm going to put it on a simmer to 2, and I'm going to let this cheese get into the noodles, or the Palmini. I want to incorporate it. It's nice and hot. I mean, look at that. It looks really pretty. Look at that. It's got all those nice green colors. I don't know if you can see it, if it's too bright or not. Let me see. I don't know. But I'm going to put the lid on this and just let it get hot. And that's going to be our side dish. So we'll be back. Alright, so this cheese sauce is heating up, or the Palmini is heating up really good. I mean, it already tastes good. But I want to kick up my cheese sauce a notch. And I am going to put in 2 tablespoons of Nutritional yeast. I love the flavor of this, and I think it's going to make this sauce even better. So I'm going to mix that in, and then I'm just going to let it simmer so the flavors can marry. And this will be done cooking it on a simmer. I'll end up shutting it off or just moving it over to this burner on an absolute low while the meatloaf cooks. So there's that. The waiting time, I guess, is the hardest part. But I do appreciate you watching. It's going to be a delicious dish. Moon here. And my cat Prince. And he better not jump up on this counter. I think that's what he's waiting to do. So, this is what the meatloaf looks like. Now, it's not very pretty in the basket, but it is done. And I'm going to try to tip this where you can sort of see it. I'm going to pull it out so you can see. Now it kept its shape, you know, because it's cooking, it shrinks. So let's see if I can do this. Yep, and here comes the cat. So if he jumps up here, I'm sorry. Alright, let me see how I can get this out of here. The fun part. Now the reason I like this basket is because all the grease, it drains out and goes into the bottom of the Instant Pot. So it's not, you know, part of it. See how round it is? It has got such a beautiful color. And then I'm going to be right back because I'm going to move the cat. Sorry, stay crazy. It's like he thinks the food's for him. Okay, so this is the Palmini dish. And it looks really good. And it's very hot. Here, let me bring it closer so you can have a closer look. If you can. You'll see it in the plate in a second. Alright, so I need a knife to cut into this pretty looking meatloaf. Spinach keto meatloaf. So, just gonna slice. Look at that. Oh, that is nice and beautiful in there. Oh my goodness. That is gorgeous. Look at that. Can you hear this nutty freaking cat? Can you see all the green spinach in there? It looks so good. So then we have our Palmini. All right, set this over here. I'm not stabbing myself with my knife. And here's our dish. There it is. Our keto dish. Keto Palmini with cheese and spinach and the meatloaf. Let me grab a fork. They're right here behind me. And I guess when it comes to forks, I'm a little weird. I only like the big fat handled forks. Like if I go somewhere, yeah, I'm not going to make a fuss. I'm going to eat with the fork I'm served. But honestly, I like a little bulk to my silverware. I know that sounds weird. Okay, so, and the cat's right there again. So, let's taste this and see how I did. Now, I'm just taste testing this because this is going to be my dinner. So, when I'm done, I'm going to wrap it up and I'll eat with my family later on. So here's the meatloaf, spinach keto meatloaf with pork rinds and spinach in it and spices. That is really good. Okay, now here goes the Palmini. Alright, let's see if I can do this without being messy. You know, kind of like how spaghetti is. This is so good. When you make a cheese sauce, you know, you just start out with your base with the butter. In the traditional white sauce, you're using flour. And I just used a 1/4 teaspoon of xanthan gum. I used some cream. I used some almond milk. You cannot taste the almond milk. This is a very cheesy dish. And I love Nutritional yeast, which kicked it up a notch. But you don't have to use that if you don't want to. You can omit that, and you can use really whatever kind of favorite cheese sauce you want. But this is an awesome keto dish, and it's got your vegetables, your protein, and the Instant Pot. 40 minutes in the Instant Pot, a 3-pound ground beef meatloaf. in my oven it takes me about an hour and 30 minutes. The Palmini on the stove, you know, it doesn't take long at all. You saw me cook up the sauce, put in the Palmini, and you let it simmer. And it's done way before, you know, the meatloaf. So you can do other things. That's what I love about the Instant Pot. So, thank you for joining me today with my spinach keto Palmini dish. If you make it your own. And I hope that you like it. And I do appreciate you coming back to my channel. If you're new, welcome. I love having you here. And until next time, we'll see you soon. Bye.